else ready?
Yeah.
We'll have Coach make an opening statement to start and then open it up for questions.
Well, once again, just like I said the other night, I can't say enough about our marketing, our athletic administration to work really hard to create a good environment in here tonight. And I thought our kids really got excited, and we knew we were playing a very good Atlantic 10 team. And as I watched tape on them, I felt like Kavanaugh was as good as any big kid we had played against all year on tape. And they run really good stuff, and to only have a couple days to prepare, I give my staff a lot of credit. I thought they really had our guys locked in and ready to play.
Quick update on Santos, Coach.
He got his ankle. It didn't seem like, we'll have to tell tomorrow. It wasn't hurting him now, but you feel good now. We'll have to see how he is tomorrow.
How important was this victory for your program? You mentioned on Thursday, you hate spring break. You want to be in postseason play every year. You get 2 wins now with this young group. What's their emotions like? How important is this for your upstart group?
Well, I think as you build a program, and a year ago I talked about the process and the steps, and you can't skip the steps. Everybody wants to skip the steps, and when you come in and start talking about winning, everybody thinks you're going to skip the steps. Well, he said we're going to win, so we must be going to win. No, you still have to go through the process. You have to go to every step, and it's a step for this program right now. And now 3 postseason wins when you throw in the Horizon League, a really big step for this young team.
How have they responded to playing in postseason?
You know what? They've been great in practice. They've had great attention. Every time they come out of a film session, the coaches are saying they're locked in. We got done practicing yesterday, and the staff walked in and said that may be as good a practice as we've had in 3 weeks. So they're learning it's fun. Being tired and getting ready to play again is fun. That's what this time of year is about. And so, and getting better as a team. We keep talking about that. And whenever this ends, I want us to know we're a better basketball program. We're a better team. And, 24 assists tonight, the high for the season. What that tells me, we've got into postseason play, and we're becoming a better team in postseason play. It hasn't become individuals. It's been about everybody doing what they do.
Coach, how good can this team be with Tarkus Ferguson being a pass-first point guard?
Well, again, he's starting to see the court at a level, he sees passes, guys need to be ready. And he threw a couple cross courts tonight that I don't think anybody ever thought would get to him. And even the one Godwin missed in the corner, I think he had no idea it was even going to be able to get there. And so, but again, you can draw up all the plays you want. Guys got to finish plays, and we finished them.
Coach, you talked about the Stony Brook post show. You talked about bringing a culture to UIC basketball. The fact that you want to be playing here in spring break. How are these kids buying into this, enjoying this ride, and knowing they get to move on to the semifinals and postseason play?
Well, here's the great thing about it. They've bought into it completely, and it's a new experience for them. This program has been home on spring break for a long time, and they'll know from now on, don't make any plans, because we're going to be right here, and hopefully we're not going to be here at some point. Hopefully it's all part of the steps, and it doesn't mean you're there. All it means is you're getting closer, and again, we find a way to always make it interesting. I'm good with that. I don't panic, they don't panic, and I just like their mindset right now.
You talked about, one of the youngest teams in all of college basketball. You see this team maturing at this point, really grasping the hold of what they have right in front of them.
Well, I think they are. I think they're finding enjoyment in it. That's what's fun. Winning's supposed to be fun. Winning is supposed to, when you walk in the locker room and see those smiles, that's That's what it's about. When I worked for Billy Tubbs, he said, always learn to enjoy the wins because the losses eat you up. Well, they're getting to enjoy the wins now. This is the most Tayodiasi's ever won since he's been here. And that's a neat thing. And from a coaching point of view, you need it because that's what I've sold all these young guys to get them here. We are going to get there. I don't care what the past is. I know where we're going to take this thing. And again, it's all steps and doesn't mean we're there. What it means is we're getting closer.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Coach, one more thing. Tayodiasi, he came out, had a big game. How big was it for him to be locked in and get a big game going for you guys?
Well, he's been the last 3 weeks of the season, except for one game, he's really been a force for us. And I felt like, every time we needed a basket, I wanted to go to him. That's a big change from a year ago. And it's all because of his confidence, not mine. Now he believes he's going to score that ball around the rim. And our guards are believing he can score that ball around the rim.
Anything else for Coach?
Coach, at what point during the season did you know that this current roster was going to have a chance to be pretty good?
I knew the night we beat DePaul when Dikembe went down. Now, I still knew we'd go through growing pains, but when I watched them respond that night, I said, this team, for a young team, they don't fear anything. And again, my wife said to me when the game was over, isn't it nice to have your whole team? We're finally playing, and hopefully KJ isn't hurt. We're finally playing with everybody. Godwin's finally playing. Marcus is playing. We went through half a conference play without all of them. Now they're getting that's with Dominique and Tark and Marcus and Godwin. That's a hard lineup for teams to figure out how they're going to guard us. And if you noticed, they finally had to go small because we were going to just keep playing small. And so I felt like, though, that night's the night I knew this team's got something to them.
Coach, this roster is filled with area talent. Does it add any specialness to it that you're playing these 2 postseason games at home? These guys are able to play in front of their family and they get to share the postseason experience with them at home?
Well, I think it means a lot. Again, that's what we want this to be, is a family deal. And, the fun part, it was Dom's mom's birthday yesterday. He got to go spend time with her, but be back for film at 6 o'clock. And that's what we're trying to create. And so I feel like it is all more special because, the one thing I heard when I got here, not about UIC, but every school in Illinois, well, there's no Illinois kids in postseason playing for Illinois universities. Well, Chris Collins had some Illinois kids. We've got Illinois kids. Illinois State's got Illinois kids. Porter had a very good year at Loyola, got a lot of Illinois kids. I'm waiting for somebody to come back and say maybe that's changing now.
Is that important to have sort of local players for these in-state schools, not only producing, but winning in postseason play teams?
Well, no question, because they're learning you can stay at home and go to postseason. You don't have to go away to go to postseason. Stay right here. And again, that's the fun part about it.
Thanks, Coach. We'll bring up Tayodiasi.